Live from Lincoln, this is Channel 8 Eyewitness News at 5.
For some in Lincoln, this was the only way to get around today. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. What a mess, right? After up to 8 inches in the Lincoln area last night, the governor today declaring a state of emergency. Streets, neighborhoods, even some parts of town cut off by the flooding. This is video from a drone flying over parts of Lincoln showing you just how bad last night's torrential rains and the flooding it caused today. We found out this afternoon some Lincoln residents are being asked to evacuate because of Salt Creek rising waters. Channel 8's Vanessa Brown is going to kick off our team coverage. She joins us live. Vanessa.
Rod, navigating anywhere in Lincoln right now is pretty difficult. We've already hit roadblocks, lots of heavy traffic. We're here where 10th Street meets Salt Creek. Officials are very concerned at this hour because of how high the water is. Let's go ahead and pan down so you can see exactly what is going on. That water on Salt Creek moving very swiftly, obviously very swollen, getting very close to topping the levee after more than 7 inches of rain in the area. People in the North and South Bottoms neighborhoods are at risk for flooding. Right now, there is a voluntary evacuation in place. It spans from Cornhusker to Van Dorn and Folsom to 8th. Here's a closer look at what's happening to Salt Creek. Flood stage is 20.5 feet. As of 2:30 this afternoon, we were at 28.6. That's more than 8 feet above flood stage. The record crest since 1908 is 33.6 feet. This is the second highest level forever recorded. Obviously, a concern for residents.
It's pretty scary. I was on break at work, and I came back to my coworkers telling me that our neighborhood was going to be evacuated. So, yeah, it's a little scary.
You're getting the heck out of here, huh?
Yes, we're leaving. Not taking any chances.
It's Nebraska. It ain't raining tonight. The levee ain't going to break, and I think the evacuation's silly. Honestly, to tell you the truth.
Here are some places you can go if you are evacuating. The F Street Recreation Center at 12th and F, the Belmont Recreation Center at 1234 Judson. The Red Cross will be available there. You are also welcome at the People's City Mission. Again, Salt Creek here in Lincoln is more than 8 feet over flood stage. It is expected to peak the level at its highest tonight, then fall back below flood stage by tomorrow morning. We'll, of course, keep you updated on our evening news tonight. You can also find more information on that voluntary evacuation on our website. Just go to klkntv.com.
All right, let's hope it doesn't get too crazy out there. Vanessa Brown reporting live for us. Thank you so much. We have been getting dozens of photos and videos coming in from damage across the county and beyond. Channel 8 Eyewitness News reporter Camilla Ortiz has those images. She put them all together and joins us now. Camilla, she is in the newsroom. Camilla?
Yeah, Rod, I mean, as you mentioned earlier, things were pretty messy this morning here in Lincoln as several roadways and areas had to be shut down due to standing water. Many parts of southeast and south central Nebraska have a big mess to clean up after being pounded by storms and torrential rain Wednesday night.
The good news is we have no reports of any injuries anywhere in the city or the county.
City officials addressed the damage this morning, and Governor Pete Ricketts authorized an emergency declaration. The governor did a flyover of some towns south of Lincoln that were hit especially hard. Here's some photos. This is Roseland, where weather officials confirmed an EF1 tornado touched down. The town of Deschler that you're seeing here had to be partially evacuated because of flooding.
We did see a fair amount of flooding damage in Deschler. We saw some cars that had been swept off the road there.
And here's a photo of Hebron. Lincoln saw significant flood damage too. Check out this drone footage of Haymarket Park, completely covered by water. Rain also flooded several city roads like West O and North 84th Street, seen here, sweeping cars off the streets. This photo shows a vehicle completely submerged in a North Lincoln creek. Public safety says they responded to at least 90 incidents where people needed assistance getting themselves or their vehicles out of standing water.
Our main message today is this: don't go driving through flooded areas. Do not go around barricades. Turn around. Do not put yourself in harm's way.
Creeks and lakes overflowed their banks. Entrances to Holmes Lake were closed because of standing water covering nearly all of the roads and trails in the park. Officials say Salt Creek and the Antelope Valley project did what it's supposed to do. But as you can see, the floodwater swallowed up the bike path along the creek. Officials say all roads near Salt Creek are in danger of closing down if they haven't already. City officials are also advising all heavy trucks and vehicles to stay off rural roads in the county. A lot of those gravel roads out there were damaged in the storm. Some have lost several feet of gravel because of moving water.
Camilla, I want to keep you up here for just a second here. You were talking about the roads being closed, so many different areas in town, and I know a lot of drivers were frustrated today. We just received word. Director of Public Safety Tom Cassidy has announced that they're closing West O at Sun Valley Boulevard because of water over the road. Of course, that's right next to Salt Creek, where we have the voluntary evacuation also taking place there along there. So I know you saw a lot of that today, but again, closing West O at Sun Valley Boulevard, and I'm sure you would agree people need to be careful, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Lots of roadways closed, like you mentioned earlier. Some neighborhoods are not being able to be accessed right now, so keep your eyes out. Just be safe out on those roads. All
right, Camilla Ortiz, thank you so much for putting all that together. We now want to take a little closer look at some of the affected areas west and southwest Lincoln. They were hit hard too. Channel 8 Eyewitness News reporter Lauren Fabrizi joins us live for that. Lauren.
Yeah, Rod, we are just off of Highway 77 near Rosa Parks Way. Now, this is just one of the many examples of the flooding that has impacted the county. Now, we are not going to get in the water to show you how deep it is because we do not know where it drops off. Now, other areas that were affected that I was at earlier, just west of that intersection near 14th and Old Cheney, and also Southwest High School, forcing students to have to move their cars to safety. After Wednesday night's storm, some people in southwest Lincoln are paddling their way out of their homes. Check out this flooding just west of 14th and Old Cheney, making its way up to Highway 77. We're told the water is about waist deep, flooding some of the basements in these homes. A group of young women who live nearby couldn't drive out of their street, but they could kayak.
Salt Creek is all the way up to the top and overflowing. There is no creek anymore. It's just one huge mass of water.
We just walked up to our friend's house, brought in the kayaks, and then started kayaking, and we're like, we're just gonna make the best of the situation that's going on right now.
And not too far away at Southwest High, you can see half of the main parking lot is covered in water. Students scurried during first period to get their cars to higher ground.
My car was in the water. I had to go move it the first time, and then water got in it again, and I had to go move it again.
Well, the water was about 10 yards away from my car, so if I didn't get to it, I think I might have been in some big trouble.
About 5 cars were submerged and had to be pushed out. The principal says about 20 other cars needed to be moved, some having a little water inside. And that's not all, folks. The water drenched other parts of campus, too.
To see our tennis courts underwater and our softball field, baseball field, that's frustrating.
And some good news in this. When I was there earlier, the principal told me the water did not make its way into the school. And now again, we are just off of Highway 77, and Jen, just south of here, a mess, right?
It is a mess. If anyone was driving through Lincoln today and didn't have to take a detour, you're one of the lucky ones. Some people spent the afternoon just trying to figure out how they'll get home.
I can't get home. It's horrible. What a mess.
Lynn Taylor was one of many taking a U-turn. The closure of Highway 77 south of Lincoln meant getting to their destination was almost impossible. You can see here the highway is completely covered in water. Susan Ream couldn't get to work in Beatrice.
I tried this morning going down Warlick Boulevard, and I only got to about a little ways down, and the road was completely covered.
And Taylor, who lives just off the highway, got into town this morning but can't get back home after checking multiple routes.
I've been over on Saltillo on 40th, and then up to 54th and over to Roca Road, and you can't get through that way.
With Salt Creek spilling over the banks and onto the highway, there are many curious minds who walk to check out the damage.
Flowing rather fast. I'm surprised how fast it's flowing.
Over at Lincoln Industries, more people unable to get to work. The business is surrounded by water, and they're working to surround it with sandbags. Lincoln Industries, which is off in the distance behind me, they spent the afternoon worried that they wouldn't know what to do if the water kept rising, and they don't have a complete plan of action. Also in the distance behind me, a lot of traffic. For anyone on the road tonight, be patient, be careful, and be ready to turn around.
All right, Jen Hatcher and Lauren Fabrizi, both reporting live for us tonight. Thank you so much. Well, last night's heavy rains are causing a big headache for many homeowners. flooded basements. Channel 8's Marlena Thornton joins us now with that.
Rod, property managers around 35th and Huntington had their hands full today as they worked to clean up flooded basements from last night's storms. Work began early this morning around 5 as they began pumping floodwaters out of various apartments' basements. Some of the complexes in the area had about a foot of water around knee level. The water is coming from backed up sewers. Those living in the basement units say most of their belongings are ruined, and this isn't the first time. They said this also happened last fall.
This is the second time I've gone through this. It's not fun. Everything gets ruined. You have all-day job, and that's when the water actually finally recedes.
Apartment owners say the damage estimates are in the thousands, which includes removing the carpets. Wastewater crews are out all around the city trying to relieve the pressure of the sewage systems, which is causing the backup. They say the areas of 33rd to 56th from Holdridge to Adams were heavily affected. The city's wastewater management office is really backed up with calls right now. They are taking people's addresses and numbers. Make sure you document the damage with photos.
All right, Marlena, thank you so much. Let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Luke Doris. Luke, you were saying basically anywhere from about 5 to 8 inches last night.
Yeah, and that's through Lancaster County. Some spots saw even more. We've had a report of upwards of 9 inches in Saline County, just southwest of Lincoln, as we got in toward the Wilbur area. And some of those spots that we saw in southwest parts of Lancaster County, southeast parts of Saline County. Here's your live view out through Tower Cam with a lot of the rain going on, a lot of flooded roadways. It's a tough go out there this evening. Here it is as we get to the rush hour, and you can see traffic is a mess out there. So just get ready to deal with that as you make your way about town through the rest of this evening. All right, here's some rain reports that we have for you. Lincoln Airport officially at 6.59 inches. A lot of you saw more than that. Look at 56 in Pine Lake, upwards of 7.5 there. We saw Swanton in Saline County, almost 10 inches. Hebron, nearly 9 inches, setting some records in many, many spots. Wilford, out into Joe, our weather watcher Joe, rather, he saw about 5.5 inches. And we've got more rain out there. We've got more heavy thunderstorms. Look at this on HD radar in the southeastern part of Nebraska from Pawnee City down toward Wymore. Even some severe storms trying to punch in out of northeast Kansas. We're going to be watching these tonight. How far north are they going to be able to make it? Could we see some rain here in Lincoln? We're going to look at that. I will say the atmosphere is still juiced up. It still has the ability to produce strong storms, including heavy rain, and the severe threat still on the table as we run through this forecast. We'll let you know when that may show up. It's coming up here in just a bit.
All right, thank you so much, Luke. We're going to take a break from our flood coverage, and we're going to talk about entertainment. Your Roundup is next.
You're watching Channel 8 Eyewitness News at 5 with Rod Fowler, Vanessa Brown, Chief Meteorologist Luke Doris, and Sports Director Brett Edwards. This is Channel 8 Eyewitness News at 5.
Time for your entertainment roundup. Here's Bob Rook.
Hello, everyone. And this weekend, the corn is as high as an elephant's eye when the classic musical Oklahoma opens on stage at the Lincoln Community Playhouse. This Rodgers and Hammerstein chestnut is set in Oklahoma territory, where Curly, a cowhand, and Lori, a farm girl, tussle their way toward love. Featuring one of the most well-known scores in musical theater history, patrons will hear such musical gems as People Will Say We're in Love, Surrey with the Fringe on the Top, The Farmer and the Cowman Should Be Friends, and Oh, What a Beautiful Morning. Here is a look at our featured event. Oklahoma is on stage at the Lincoln Community Playhouse, Thursday through Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and Sunday at 2 p.m. 489-7529 is the box office phone number, and a thanks to Megan Rook for that video. Now let's take a look at the roundup for this week. How I Became a Pirate is on stage at the Haymarket Theater this weekend. There's a variety of curtain times, so log on to haymarkettheater.org for more. Sunday Best is the name of the group, playing at Knickerbocker Sunday at 9 o'clock. Delicate Beasts is the name of the exhibition at the Lux Center for the Arts this weekend. Log on to luxcenter.org for more information there. Pianos Become the Teeth is the name of the group performing at Vega. That's tonight at 8 o'clock. Great Plains Arabian Horse Classic takes place at the Lancaster Event Center this weekend. You can log on to their website right there on the screen for more information. And the No Coast Derby Girls will be at the Icebox Friday at 6:30. Now, next week, we will come to you from the Leeds Center of Performing Arts, where they will announce their upcoming season. So you don't want to miss that. Until then, have an entertaining weekend.
Thank you, Bob. Luke's in next with your 10-day forecast.
Now, your local forecast from Lincoln's own weather experts.
Well, we set a record for rain in Lincoln at midnight last night at just over 2.5 inches. And of course, we saw a lot more rain past that. Total over the past 24 hours has been over 6.5. Traffic is jammed. Roads are flooded. It is a mess in Lincoln. Here's our storm reports. We had not only the rain, but let's start out with the tornado reports that we'd had. These are the ones that had been spotted. And it was just a very active day weather-wise. We also had wind damage reports and also the hail reports. That's the blue dots that you see, the blue diamonds. So some highlights from last night, of course, extreme rain and flooding. Many saw between 5 and 8 inches. Near record flooding here in Lincoln, and we had several tornadoes, only one of which has been confirmed by the National Weather Service as they've done a damage survey out at Roseland. That was a high-end EF1 with winds to about 110 miles per hour. Other ones that may have been tornadoes, we're not sure yet. They could have been straight-line winds. Hardy, Hebron, Byron, Shickley, Raymond, Hickman, and Reynolds. Many of those did have spotted tornadoes with them. A couple of them did not, and if they did see damage, it could have been from something that we call RFD, rear flank downdraft, which is really strong straight line winds. Those can cause damage similar to what you expect with tornadoes. Here's all the flood warnings that we have, and there are a bunch of them. Of course, Salt Creek going through the city of Lincoln. It extends off into the northeastern part of the county, up into Cass County as well. We've got flood warnings that run all the way down into Gage County, Saline County, Jefferson County, everywhere where we saw the really heavy rain. You expect to see those flood warnings. Look at this, a bullseye where upwards of 9 inches of rain had fallen in south central parts and southeastern parts of the state. Here are your official totals. Again, we showed you reports of a lot higher numbers than this with our viewer reports and also with our weather spotters that we have all across eastern parts of the state. HD radar, let's take it on out. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning right now. More heavy rain. The atmosphere is still juiced up. It's still capable of producing severe weather, and again, those heavy showers, and the ground's so waterlogged it just can't hold anymore. So this one in Pawnee County, just northeast of Pawnee City, moving toward the city of Auburn. That one's got up to about 1 inch hail. You can see some strong storms punching in out of Kansas, just like they did last night. So Fairbury, Wymore, Beatrice, we're going to be watching that line for you as it moves northward. The rest of us fairly quiet out there at the moment. So it looks like the bulk of the activity is going to stay off to the south and to the east, right through that red stripe. That's where you can expect upwards of 6 inches of rain or so through that line. All right, here's storm number 1. That's yesterday's storm, moving out slowly. We're still going to be dealing with it tonight. Here's another one. That's going to arrive for us as we get into this weekend. So with that, here's our severe risk. Today, it's for the very southeastern tip of the state where we're seeing it in a line from about Beatrice to Nebraska City, location south. For tomorrow, for Friday, look at the enhanced risk, the moderate risk moving in out of Kansas. Looks like we will not be seeing the severe threat in Nebraska, but Saturday, we're going to have to watch that as we see the front surge northward. This goes through midnight. After midnight, we could still be seeing a severe threat. And if that front comes a little bit further north, Saturday could be a very active day. We're going to watch that one closely. It depends. Is it going to be Saturday? Is it going to be Sunday? Sometime when that front comes through, that risk of severe weather will come back to Nebraska. 74 your temperature now. Winds breezy out of the west at 14. Temperatures cooler to the northwest. Look at the 50s behind the front up into O'Neill. Meanwhile, 60s in Columbus, warmer 70s and nearly 80 out into Omaha. They're at 79 right now. Here's Stormcast. Note it's going to pick up on a lot of the thunderstorms through southeastern parts of the state. Pretty isolated tonight. Let's take you through tomorrow. You don't see much. We could see a stray thunderstorm throughout the day. Better chances arrive for us as we get into Friday night. That's a front surging northward. And then Saturday, looks like the bulk of the afternoon, pretty isolated with thunderstorms through eastern Nebraska, but they fire up in central parts of the state. Saturday evening, Saturday night, there's strong thunderstorms moving through, more heavy rain with it. And by Sunday, looks like it should start to move out. How much rain are we talking about? Well, in spots, upwards 2-3 inches. Here we go again. This weekend's going to bring another soaker. 51, your overnight low tonight. Heaviest rain is going to be southeast of Lincoln. It's a mistake, not 55. Tomorrow is going to be, looks like, pushing up into at least around the 70-degree mark. So we'll show you that here with the 7-day. There you go. 71, the high temperature. 55, the low for Friday night. Saturday, 76. Rain likely, especially Saturday night. Sunday, we're lowering the rain chances for Mother's Day. Cooler as we start next week. Monday, 59. Quick check your 10-day forecast as temperatures punch back into the 70s by the later part of next week. Keep it here. We'll be right back. All right, another check of your forecast. 51, your overnight low tonight. Some scattered thunderstorms. Looks like a lot of these are going to be from a line from Beatrice toward Nebraska City, even seeing some severe weather already out there this evening, and of course more heavy rain. Now rain chances will increase late Friday night. You could see a stray storm Friday during the day. 71 your high temperature. We'll take you through the rest of the weekend with 70s. Saturday, especially Saturday night, looking stormy, looking like more heavy rain.
All right, the latest on the weather and the flooding coming up at 6 o'clock. We'll see you then.